Perdomo Legacy original intent, I think. This is the one with the Cameroon Habano seed, Nicaraguan grown. I think the rest is going to be Nicaraguan. Full pack, same size Toro. I already cut it at the shop and I was chomping on it, so don't take that to effect. Kind of windy out in the same spot. Next night for the Legacy Maduro, we're going to see how this works out. I was playing bingo tonight, my father, so I got, if you know about bingo, you know, at the Elks Lodge. Definitely, you're going to get marker on your hands playing bingo. Anyways, let's check it out. Okay, all I could say is, after having the Maduro version first, the natural version, meaning the original intent, is this wrapper. This wrapper is the hybrid wrapper of Nicaraguan grown, but it's a Cuban Cameroon hybrid seed, in a sense, that was grown. It's not a Cameroon wrapper. Remember, Cameroon wrapper will be grown in Cameroon, Africa. And it's not a Cuban wrapper because that would be Cuban seed. Well, technically, what if you put Connecticut seed in actual the country of Cuba? That would be a Cuban wrapper of Connecticut seed. So, I mean, when we talk about seed, in the sense, would be the father, and then the where it was grown would be the mother, would be the earth. So that being said, so a lot of guys we talk about when the Maduro is just a process. So Maduro is a process. Every leaf gets grown under the sun and the moon. You know, where sun grown means without any shade grown, but then you can have natural shade grown from trees. You can have shade grown from clouds, shade grown from cheesecloth. So there's processes, natural processes, unnatural processes, and we have barrel aging. But we're actually talking about just the leaf itself. Just like humans, you have a mother and father. Let's say your father was all Italian, your mother was all Irish. You're an Irish-Italian, right? Or Italian-Irish, however you look at it. Really, you should be, if your father's Italian, your mother's Irish, you're an Italian-Irish. Because your father came first. Well, you have to ask your mother out, right? That's the way it works. The man always takes the lead. The point is, though, so if this is, but it's a hybrid seed, then going through different countries. So this is not a Cameroon, this is not a Nicaraguan, this is not a Cuban seed. This is a Cuban Cameroon. It's a 50-50. It's a father that was half Cameroon, half Cuban, and then the mother was Nicaraguan. This is a totally different vibe. At the smoke, the Maduro was great, and that really was the best Maduro that they ever made, Perdomo. This vibe on this, bro, I'm still processing this. Because remember, this being the outer position, taking the dominant position. The wrapper position, the outer layer, is what dominates the picture, like the perimeter. And that's what sets the tone. In a way, that's what sets the perimeter to all the flavor pushing behind it. It's the dominant position. Medium full, 70% darkness. It's not as dark as the Maduro, but this is definitely, remember, they said this is a shade grown, but due to the way they grew it, it's a much darker than you would think as a shade grown, but it was grown in the shade in Nicaragua. But the process they were talking about, where they dug a ditch, in a sense, they made their own, like almost like a valley. It was a very windy area that's not known for making shade grown tobacco. And so anyways, though, I guess you could say it was a violently grown shade grown. So this is definitely strong for sure. Don't think you're getting like Ecuadorian Connecticut vibe on this. I would say this version here, the red one here, the True Intent, which is called their Perdomo Shade Grown Legacy. Off the bat, this is stronger and heavier and spicier than the Maduro. The Maduro is darker. And Perdomo Maduros are never really known to be like AJ level strength or AJ power. It's not really, I also think it's because Perdomo, a lot of their stuff, like they're aging, like for example, like, oh, we're going to use 15 or 10-year aged tobacco. They're really aging the tobacco for 10, 15 years. And when you go to like Padron or AJ Fernandez, very rarely you get 15-year age or 10-year age tobacco, wrapper binder filler. So maybe my Perdomo like for example, on the 30th, even though it was a great cigar, but maybe by them aging 15 years, the wrapper, it lost too much for Maduro. It's not what exactly I want out of Maduro. I don't mind, obviously, aged tobacco, 5 years, 7, whatever it is. But the point is, it's not a magical number, but there's a point where you age tobacco so long that, especially when you were going for a darker, strong cigar, that's what I really want. The lack of, I don't care what my wadding is so much smoother that it loses enough balls. Anyways, though, this Legacy's got enough balls. It's and between this and the Maduro, and I really had a good time in the Maduro. I'm gonna give it a little more time, see how it stacks out. But off the bat, and probably how I thought it was gonna go, I like the Legacy, the original intent, the red here, more than the Maduro. Medium full, 70%, but it's spicier. It's a louder blend. It's just not as dark as Maduro, but it's lively. The flavor's lively, and it's not only spicier in black pepper, but it's spicier in red pepper. Like, this thing is pretty zesty. It's pretty spicy in the red and black pepper. I gotta give it that. Finish is extremely long and heavy off the bat. I'm getting a lot of wind here, so hopefully it doesn't mess up my my burn. Definitely has the charred barrel feel, just like the Maduro. The charred wood is a fantastic, and I feel the charred wood flavor mixes better with this version. This was the intent of this blend. You can't make a blend in 3 blends. You can make it in 3 sizes, and then we could argue about, obviously, the size is the blend that's going to be the best version, or the original intent of one blend. Especially if you start changing up diameter, right? Changing up from 5 inch to 6 inch will adjust the cigar a little bit and perception, but changing from a 54 to a 50 gauge and vice versa will really adjust the perception. Picture a cigar gauge is like zooming in with a telescope. The skinnier the gauge, the more you're zoomed in, and you'll see more finite stuff. It's going to be more intense, but you're going to lose some scope and scale. So really, like, it reminds me of like golden honey. That's almost, the picture of honey was like, how do I would buy crispy honey? Imagine if something, you were cooking with something and it was like and they would use honey on something, and the honey was slightly braised, slightly charred. Yeah, that's the word. Slightly charred honey, which is really nice. So with the charred wood, slightly charred honey, with the black pepper and the intense red pepper, it's quite nice. I'm not getting cinnamon, but because I remember, this is not a Cameroon, this is not a Habano. It's a Cameroon Habano that's grown in Nicaragua. So in a way, it's taking aspects. So it has the sweetness that the Cameroon has, but it doesn't have the same exact profile because it's not a Cameroon cigar at all. You can't say a Cuban seed Cameroon seed hybrid that's grown in Nicaragua is gonna feel exactly like a Cameroon wrapped cigar grown in Cameroon. I'm sorry?
So you got a cigar?
I'm smoking a cigar.
Oh, you smoking a cigar?
Yeah.
It's a cigar?
Yeah.
It's like a vape.
What's that?
It's like a vape.
No, it's just got great sweet flavor, man. Well, I just had a very disturbed person wondering if this, well, I guess he said he thought it was a vape. He said, wow, it smells sweet. At the same time, the guy's like sweating through the eyes. And then he started talking about he has drugs. And I'm like, no, bro, we're not doing drugs. I'm smoking a cigar. He's like, oh, I was gonna smoke with you. I was like, no, man, we're not gonna do that. I had to turn the camera off, like, put my phone down, just look him in the eye, like, all right, buddy, no, like, I'm smoking my cigar. I'm doing a review. If you wanted to just sit down and talk, that's one thing. No, that guy was fucking guy. Honestly, he was probably just looking for a friend. But I'm not gonna smoke a cigar, which is legal everywhere in America. But this guy wanted to smoke his drugs next to me. He's like, we're gonna sit down and talk, man. Like, no, that wasn't gonna be the interview that I wanted. But then again, I don't know. Jeremy knows this. You know, we're trying to spread awareness not to do drugs, but it is what it is. That guy was gone. That guy was really gone. Yeah, guys, don't do drugs. He was like, he looked like a very new, young kid, like homeless. Like he looked like 23 years old, but he had like a backpack and like a suitcase. He was like sweating through. That guy looked crazy. He absolutely looked gone, but not gone. It's not. See, there's difference between someone's homeless and like you can tell that it's sad. Well, that guy looked like an angry, violent homeless, and like he got my attention. And I told him, no, bro, we're not gonna smoke together. That's not happening. That's not happening. That's not, bro. Like, I'm nice and I'm kind to people, but if I feel your vibe, like, you know what I'm saying? If you're up to a criminal vibe, but bro, just get the fuck away from me, bro. Like, you see, I'm not the one, and it is what it is. I guess you could call me number 2 because I'm not the one. And it is what it is. Well, it was verified. We have a crackhead homeless young man saying that he thought this was vape because it was smelling sweet. The Legacy certified. So it is sweet in a sense. It's got good complexity. And the burn's going great even with the wind. You got to give that to Perdomo because it's a windy out. And that ash, I don't want to wear it on my dick. I'm going to drop it pretty soon. Finishes long and heavy, 70%. It's a desirable blend. That guy just fucked up my vibe, man. I looked right in his eyes. His eyes looked like he was sweating. And like he just had, he was just too angry. No, we weren't gonna fucking smoke together. Nope. Like, well, we're gonna smoke together, man. No, we're not. We're not smoking together, bro. Wrong. Anyways, God, you just can't have any nice, man. Fucking bums. Anyways, we're at a solid medium full. Solid 70%. I'm impressed on how spicy and strong this is, but extremely smooth. Charred wood, slightly charred, I guess, what's the proper word? Like glazed charred honey. Intense black pepper and red pepper. Long finish. I'll come back. I'm going to have to recollect that I just had like an angry, violent type of homeless person thinking he was going to sit down and smoke with me. Because he was trying to establish dominance. He's like, yeah, we're going to smoke, man. He's like, yeah, he's like, got drugs in it, man. He's like, you got drugs? Like, it went from like statements and questions to questions and statements. Like, bro, I don't have drugs. I don't do drugs. And we're not going to do drugs or talk about drugs. Like, get the fuck out. This is Florida, bro. Get the fuck out of here, man. Bro, get the fuck out of here, man, dude. Florida's not the place to be bad. What are you fucking crazy? It's Delray Beach. Burnt out motherfucker. Wowza, a work of art. It's gonna take the cake. It's gonna take the cake. That's gonna be the best Perdomo I ever had. And you could take this cigar and you could let it sit for 3 years. It's still going to be strong. I'm at a heavy, medium, full, really with about 80% strength. This is not weak at all. 70% darkness, but really spicy, but done in a really tasteful way. Like I said, a lot of charred wood, heavy on the charred honey notes. I like the word crispy honey, if something was honey coated and cooked, like on a grill. And then the black and red pepper is quite zesty. No Diddy, peace be upon Diddy. And I'm gonna drop the ash, and I held the ash. There we go. This is wow. This is better than the Maduro. The Maduro was great. I gotta give it to Perdomo for really upping their game and just making some higher tier stuff, and the price point's only like $1 or $2 more. I think I paid $13.50 Florida MSRP, which is fantastic. I can highly recommend this. This is a guy like cigars. This is going to be a 4.85. It's solid, man. This is the Toro. I did see they had the Robusto. Robusto was going to be an inch shorter, but the same diameter, which I applaud them for that, keeping the same diameter to keep the same blend in a sense as far as the filler to wrapper to binder ratio. The only difference is you're going to get more time, and also you're going to grow with the weaker part of the wrap. So obviously, if you go with Robusto, you're going to start off stronger because you're going to start off with a stronger part of the leaf. Also, you're going to have less distance and then less resistance, and so it's just going to be stronger off the bat because the smoke only has to travel 5 inches to hit your face versus 6. And yeah, so that is what it is with that. Deep into the cigar, obviously we're really into the second third. Dude, I got nothing bad to say. What a great fucking day, man. Had a great day with my father. I took my father for Father's Day. I said, Dad, what can I get you, man? You don't need nothing, right? I want to get you a shirt or a coffee mug or a hat. I said, Dad, we take you for a pedicure. He's an old man. I said, Dad, you don't ever get your feet scrubbed and, get your toenails. You get older, you got to start taking care of your feet, okay? So I took him there to the Chinese place. I got him the deluxe, $60. Man, they scrubbed his feet for an hour. I could tell he enjoyed it. He never takes care of that kind of stuff. But you get older, guys, take care of your feet. As you get older, man, you get all that dead skin and your toenails all fucked up. Take care of your feet as you get older. You know what I'm saying? You get better blood flow. Take care of yourself. You got to do some maintenance on yourself. I'm not saying go get your mankini wax, but Jeremy knows this. But anyways. So I took him out for that. He made me pancakes today. It was great. My dad made me blueberry pancakes. What a great fucking time. And then for dinner, he made nice steaks. He made nice, it was a New York strip steak. It was great on the grill. And then we went to go play bingo at the Elks Lodge. And I won one round. Big whoop. Anyways, but it was a good time. And here I am smoking this. And I'm enjoying this little trip to South Florida, down here in Delray Beach. And fantastic time. And great weather, nice breeze. I'm gonna touch that up a little bit after I drop that ash. Also, it was starting to get a little wavy, but considering with the wind, that's not bad at all. This cigar like cigar, this is the best Perdomo ever made. And until this point, the 30th Sun-Grown was the best Perdomo, and I still highly recommend the 30th Sun-Grown. But this takes it to another level because this is stronger than the 30th Sun-Grown. This is quite ballsy. This is quite lively. And I wouldn't know exactly what category to put this in because it doesn't feel like anything else I've ever smoked. Because it's a new type of tobacco that I've never smoked. It's a Cuban-Cameroon hybrid seed grown in Nicaragua and dug into a trench in a sense with the shade grown. So a most excellent blend, most excellent wrapper at a good ratio, a good size. I think it's 54. It doesn't feel heavy though as far as it's too big of a gauge, can't carry the blend. Honestly, it's perfect in this size. I feel like if they would have went with 50, it might have pushed it too much. But it's strong enough in this size. So I could definitely recommend this Legacy. Perdomo is making better and better stuff, and I'm proud of them doing that because I love the 30th, and this is even better. So if you haven't had the 30th, get yourself the Legacy. In a way, I'm calling it the Sun-Grown because it's the red one, but really it's a shade-grown. But whatever, but it doesn't look like a shade grown. That's a whole other thing. It is a shade grown, but it looks much darker. It literally looks like a sun grown. So it's a shade grown, sun grown. If that makes any fucking sense, who knows? So unique for right on my choach. It's unique for being a dark shade grown. I think they could have called it a dark shade grown, I guess. I don't know, dark shade. I don't know. It sounds like an action movie. Dark Shade, coming this summer, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and Sack. Only 2 men could stop a man with 400 canaries in his basement, and he shoots cats. Very sweet, very spicy, very strong, long-lasting flavor. Nothing bad to say about it, and unique. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Unique, and I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly fucking impressed. I'm excited now for that Ecuadorian Connecticut. which I'll check out tomorrow. I'll come back. Down the nub. Godlike cigar all the way. Fantastic. Really heavy medium full right now. Super long heavy finish. The charred wood, the charred honey, the black pepper, red pepper. It has really not changed. But the whole profile combined, it just feels like a message. It feels like the original intent, like, wow, this is a perfect blend for what they were trying to do. It's getting my attention. Obviously, it's not a Cameroon cigar, but it's a Cameroon hybrid grown in Nicaragua, so it's doing a lot of things different. And being that it's not a traditional sun grown, it's a shade grown, but in Nicaragua, which grows stronger tobacco in that region where they grew it. Obviously, if they could grow shade grown tobacco on a normal basis, they would. But why they always use an Ecuadorian shade grown, even Perdomo? Because that's, if you want to get like that Connecticut, copying in a sense the true Connecticut shade. So this is not that kind of vibe. And I'll be interested when I review the Connecticut shade tomorrow. So this cigar, a lot of fun, great time, lively, a perfect celebration cigar with almost too much flavor. I mean, what a great time. It was stronger than I expected, but classy balls all the way. Nothing bad to say about it. 4.85. Check it out.